I joined the 35th Infantry Division, and up at the Luxembourg-Belgium border.
Okay.
And I was a scout in the Company K of the 137th Infantry Division, and I was in a lookout out in this farmhouse, one of these old stone farmhouses, and I was on the second floor, and the weather was snowy, cold, rains, freezing rain, and along the Germans broke through. We were on the right flank of the 35th Division, and the Germans broke through and they captured 2 companies of men, about 360 some men, and this big German tank shot the bullet underneath into the wall of this old stone farmhouse, and I flew from I was on the second floor. I flew from the floor up to the ceiling from the impact. Back then, we had no choice, so we all fell out, and we were captured, and the Germans took all our rations and all our whatever personal things we had, and then we were captured. So then they had us all fall out, and then they marched us back in farther from the front line, and then we went to the interrogator, and the interrogator said to me, he said the name Demler. He says, that's German. What are you doing here? And all I told him was my name, rank, and serial number. So that's all I had to, according to international law.
How was the prison camp? It sounded like it was just terrible.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. I worked where at night. We had to work on repairing the railroads, and so in Europe, in the United States, when you have repaired the tracks, you have the ties separate and the rails separate, and in Europe, they were all welded together. So we would replace sections. If we could find a good piece, we would take it out, and while we were there working on that, nights the German guards would smoke, and when they lit up their cigarettes and our night fighters would pick them up, and that's when we would get bombed and strafed. Like one night, it was like on the 4th of July. They had tracers, and we were down on the ground. I was in the cemetery, and the bullets just ricocheted off of the tombstones, and lucky it never got hit because it kissed the ground that it was laying on. So, so we worked. Our diet was made of a pound of cheese to 10 guys, and then we had this German bread. This bread was made from rye flour, sawdust, leaves, and straw, and that was our diet. Some days some days we didn't even get fed. It just, and that's where I lost the weight, and I contracted pneumonia, and I had no doctor care. So, and then we water. We didn't have any water. The only water we had is what we ate, the snow. We had no bathroom facilities. But the clothes I had on, I didn't have off in 3 months. Once the sock spread rotted on my feet. But I'm one of the fortunate ones. I survived. The majority of them that were with me perished, and you couldn't escape if you would have tried. First place, you didn't have the strength from the diet that we had. They had to be able to get through this. Then when we finally got the railroad repaired, they were going to take us to Limburg. So they piled us in railroad cars. We were in there, might be 4 days, 5 days. I have no way of knowing. They didn't feed us on those 4 or 5 days at all. We were locked in. I stood on the top of one of our dead soldiers because there was no room to move for so. And when I got to Limburg, we finally got some rations from the Red Cross, but most of us by that time had passed on, and I was just one of the fortunate ones that survived.
You were down to 70 pounds?
That's right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I remember when I was liberated, the little 100-pound nurse lifted me off the gurney and put me in bed. That's so it's so, and I would have lived. They figured that I would have lived about 3 days. I had pneumonia. Part of my lung had I had over 4 liters of pus in my lung, and I had part of my lung had grown tight on the bottom. On the bottom of my, and I've never gotten the full lung back of capacity again. But when I was liberated, John Forno, he was a photographer. He was for Life, and for I think he was for United Press. He took pictures of us and of who of all of them that they appeared. They didn't only appear in Life. They appeared in Stars and Stripes paper, and I've been in every paper I believe in the world. So, and I've only met him that one time, and I feel bad that I never had an opportunity again to meet him, but because he died here a couple of years ago. So, I've had so many interviews and stuff that I'm probably the most publicized. In fact, when I was in Memphis in the hospital, I was the most publicized veteran there.
Did you ever think, I'm not going to make it? It just seems amazing.
You can't have a defeated attitude. You got to think positively, and that's how my life has always been. I always think of what you know, the good things, and I take care. That's why I take very good care of myself. And you can't, if you had a defeated attitude, dude, you wouldn't last very long. I thank the Lord every day, and I always pray for all the guys that perished and the suffering.